Good evening, folks, and welcome to The Big Decision. My name is Lucy Ferriby-Stocks.
And I'm Cam Hall.
Now, normally at this time of year, we would be in the Dirty Duck with nursing a pint at on a rather uncomfortable bench at a table, probably having a drink.
You're making it sound so nice.
I am, aren't I? I'm really I'm doing really nice picture here, aren't I? You know, we might get there one day. But this time, we are doing it from the comfort of our own home instead. And yes, I am wearing slippers.
Yeah, and I'm wearing jeans as well. So, I mean, proper. Does it go smart cash? I don't know, sort of vibe for the night. But yeah, as Lucy said, this really hasn't been a normal year by any means. Of course, what we usually do for the campaigning, the lecture shout-outs, the cardboard posters, the dodgy T-shirts. I mean, what have we had this year? We've had Facebook messaging, posting into groups, and even TikTok as well, which has just been very entertaining, I must say.
It's been like no other election campaign that I've seen in the past few years at Warwick. So it's been a stressful week for candidates, their campaign teams, and certainly everyone behind the scenes. I can say many of us have torn our hair out at some point during the past week for various reasons. But please, we want you to take this opportunity to put your feet up, to relax and find out the results of the upcoming elections, as all of the hard work from our candidates, their campaigns teams, is all coming down to this.
Yeah, I've got to say, though, we talk about tearing hair out. I don't think I've torn enough out. Is that just me?
Sorry.
Lockdown's fault, that. But yeah, of course, this is not just obviously us announcing the results tonight and, of course, candidates finding out. We want you to get involved throughout the evening as well. So please comment your thoughts on the evening as the night goes on. So let us know by tweeting us at Raw 12:51 or as well at Raw News Warwick. And please use the hashtag SpringElections21 to let us know your thoughts. And of course, please use the comment section on our Facebook, our Twitter, and our YouTube stream.
And again, this is just a little reminder, please keep the comments nice. We want this to be a positive night for everyone. Make sure the chat is reflective of this. We're all very tired. It's been a very long week. Any nasty comments will be deleted. So please keep them nice and celebratory. Everyone's worked really hard, and we want to take the opportunity to recognise that.
Indeed. And of course, whilst the last 10 days have not been really any less stressful than normal with things being online, of course, we're still here to bring you the big decision like we always do every year, even if it's now from within our own homes. And we're really happy tonight to be announcing your new student officer team for the following year.
So obviously, over the course of this evening, we will be revealing the winning candidates for all positions. So this is from faculty reps to the next part-time officers and the full-time officer team. This is obviously including the new president of Warwick SU, which will be done at 10 o'clock this evening.
So if you have your clocks ready for a countdown, I suggest you start now. But yes, this is, of course, the night where we announce all of the results of your student officer team. So let's get straight down to it. Let's start off with your faculty reps before we move on to your part-time officers and then to your full-time officers for the year ahead. So firstly, Lucy, I've got to ask you, what exactly is a faculty rep?
I will admit, I did have to double check this on the SU website, as many people probably do. But no, faculty reps aren't given the credit they deserve at Warwick, as they ensure your academic interests within your department are heard within your faculty and within your union's democratic structure. So they attend meetings with the university and faculty execs, with the students' union, as well as the academic council. So they are very, very busy people.
No, indeed. And there are three different types of faculty rep that we'll be announcing tonight. We have, for students in the arts faculty, 3 faculty reps to announce. For those within the social science faculty, we have as well 3 faculty reps to announce. And for those within the science, engineering and medicine faculty, we also have faculty reps to announce to yourselves tonight. So, Lucy, if you want to start off, who are the new arts faculty reps?
So the new arts faculty representatives this year we have 3 successful candidates. We have, first of all, Jack Sperry, Sydney Pycroft, and lastly, but by no means least, Jake Newbury. Congratulations to those 3, and we're looking forward to see what you'll do over the next coming year.
Indeed. Let's move on now to the social science faculty. Not in any way that I am biased at all, because this is my own faculty. So, and yours as well, Lucy. So, no, not at all. But these are the 3 upcoming social science faculty reps for the upcoming year. So we have Ananya Bagri, Maurizio Kutin, And Ollie Sanderson-Nichols, congratulations. Well done on your victory.
And last but by no means least at all, we have the winners of the Science, Engineering and Medicine faculty. Again, the two of these are Alex Fletcher and Prince Binu Joseph.
So congratulations to the both of you. So yeah, that's our faculty reps for the upcoming year. Again, so they will be sitting on the Academic Council and as well working within the departments to improve your student experience. And of course, that's really the point of every role tonight. It's your student experience very much at the forefront of a lot of these roles. And everyone that has run tonight has really been putting that in the forefront of their manifesto and how they're going to make things, your student experience, much better over the next year. So let's move on now to the next set of officers who are very much at the forefront of doing this. It is your part-time officers. Now, the part-time officers represent students within our liberation committees by raising awareness and running campaigns to lobby the SU and the university to make changes in the interests of marginalised students at Warwick, all of which whilst continuing with their studies. They'll further represent liberation communities through their seats on the SU's Liberation and Diversity Committee, and they're also full voting members of Student Council.
So in this election, there were candidates for all positions, excluding the Disabled Students Officer, as no nominations were received for this position before the deadline. One thing I should just note, I can see in the comments that people are questioning turnout. Has turnout been reached? I can confirm that turnout has been reached. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sat here doing a stream right now. You know, I would be probably in front of the telly with my feet up.
Or we'd be chatting about our experiences surviving the lakeside geese. Which
that is also possibly true. You know, there's two options here, but I digress. We've got the first part-time officer role, which we're going to be announcing tonight, is the Widening Participation Officer. So they represent all students from widening participation backgrounds, including those from poorer socio-economic backgrounds, or whether there is low progression to higher education in their community. Or such as students who are first to attend in their family to attend university, care leavers or young carers. Alongside representing these students, the Widening Participation Officer co-chairs the university's Widening Participation Student Advisory Group and also becomes an exec member of the Widening Participation Students Association. So, it is with great pleasure that your new Widening Participation Officer for this year, and someone I'd like to welcome to the stream to say a few words about her elections this year, is Braedie Atkins. Who should
be joining us very shortly.
She is.
Good evening, Braedie.
There we go. I panicked. We're all good. Braedie, would you like to say a few words about your election for me?
Oh yeah, sure. I wasn't anticipating winning at all, so it's I'm really happy. Thank you very much. Yeah, the campaign was great. Getting to talk to widening participation students, listening to what they have to say, what's lacking at Warwick, and the more representation and help we need. So that's been really, 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 really important. And I'm just so glad that people turn up to vote. People want a widening participation officer. You know, we're going to create change that helps us students. Finally, about time, let's get the ball rolling. Thank you for voting for me. Thank you to Kieran, who made an amazing campaign as well. I want to thank, can I do thanks?
Of course. Go for it.
Everyone that supported me, whether that's my mum, my dad, my boyfriend, people at Warwick, so people that have graduated like Fatima, current students like Alicia, that have helped me with my campaign, just directing me and like giving me advice. I want to thank everyone. I want to thank the SU Democracy team for listening to me not rant, but like when I was struggling and stuff like that, they gave me support and made sure I was okay. Yeah, I just want to thank everyone, and I can't wait to make some change. And everyone should be proud they're from widening participation backgrounds, because we deserve to be here.
Well, thank you ever so much, Braedie. We're looking forward to see what you do over the coming year. Thank you for taking the time to come and talk to us this evening.
Thank you very much.
On Cam, take us away.
Yeah, of course, you can't forget to thank your family, of course. I remember Sir Steve Redgrave won Sports Personality, forgot to thank his family, and then 11 years later came back when he won the Lifetime Award to almost have to like do the whole thanking again and apologise on all their behalf. So I think Braedie definitely getting her priorities right there. But we move on now to the next part-time officer role, it is the LGBTQA+Officer. So they will be responsible over the next year for representing all self-defining LGBTQA+ students by helping to raise awareness for issues faced by the LGBTQA+ community and lobbying the SU and the university for change to this effect, whilst also being responsible for planning awareness events and campaigns, most notably during Pride Week. We have your new LGBTQA+ officer, and I'm pleased to announce that they are Noga Levy-Rapoport and Kirsten Marner-Foley. Congratulations to the two of you. You'll be joining us on the stream very shortly, just about now. Good evening. Congratulations on winning.
Hiya, thank you so much.
Would you like to say a few words?
Sure.
Yeah.
Kirsten, take it away.
Yeah, so we just want to thank everyone so much who voted for us. It really means a lot. We're so excited to get started in September and to bring our manifesto to life and create a thriving queer community on campus that we all deserve. But this means so much to us. We're so happy to be representing our community within the SU and to be campaigning on behalf of everyone who identifies as queer.
Absolutely. And yeah, we're just really grateful to everyone who supported us and who voted for us. We're both freshers, so this was such a new experience for both of us, and we're just so happy that everyone has tasked us with this responsibility, and we will take it seriously, and we will make sure we deliver on our manifesto promises for the next year.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us this evening. We'd like to say pass our congratulations on to you again.
Thank you.
Fabulous. Now, you know, we're getting through these PTOs quite quickly this evening, as obviously we will shortly be coming to your full-time officer team and again the president at 10 p.m. this evening, which is what I'm sure you're all waiting for. Do let us know your thoughts as we are taking you through this evening as to who you think will be in the top 7. But for now, we are still carrying on with our PTOs, and next we are announcing our new trans student officer. So they represent all self-defining trans students here at the University of Warwick, and similarly, if I get my words out, to the LGBTQUA officer, help to raise awareness for the issues faced by the trans student community, and also lobby the SU and the university for change to this effect, whilst also being responsible for planning awareness events and campaigns, most notably obviously during Pride Week, which again I'm sure a lot of us are looking forward to this year, hopefully with less COVID restrictions. So again, enough of me talking. I would like to welcome to the stream your new trans officer for the 4th coming year. This is Abby Baxter. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
Congratulations on winning. Do you have any words you'd like to say?
Thanks everyone who did vote for me. I look forward to representing the trans community here at Warwick and working with the other liberation officers, particularly LGBT officers, and of course thanks to everyone else running the E&E team.
Fabulous. Thank you, Abby, for taking the time to come and speak to us this evening. We're looking forward to see what you have in store over the forthcoming year.
Thank you.
Thank you. So obviously, again, we are about halfway through announcing your part-time officer team. Now, we've got to move on to announce the new environment and ethics officer. So they're responsible for promoting a more ethical and sustainable SU, aren't they, Cam?
No, absolutely. And of course, sustainability has been a big issue on the agenda in recent years. Obviously, we've had the climate emergency that was declared by the university, I think 2019 now, chugging my mind back. But yes, obviously a big part of the role here at university focusing on that. A key part of that is obviously going to be focusing on increasing student awareness of these issues, and not just working to increase students' awareness of environmental and ethical issues, but also helping them run and assist campaigns dedicated towards this. And as well as this, they'll also be working with the development exec to lobby the SU and also the university to make sure they adopt these more ethical and sustainable practices, as well as support students in accessing the university's environment and sustainability funds. So quite a lot for the environment and ethics officer to be doing there. But the question I'm sure is on everyone's mind at the moment is who will have the honour of doing all of that in the next year. And we can reveal that to you now, because the next Environment and Ethics Officer of Warwick Students' Union is Hannah Micuta. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Do you have a few words to say? Anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to everyone who voted, and a special thanks in particular to Warwick Anti-Sexism Society for reaching out and endorsing me. And a massive well done also to all the other candidates. I'm just really excited to get started. I can't wait to get back and having conversations with everyone and really making sure that we can, you know, hold Warwick to account on its climate commitments and tackling these issues of climate colonialism and having conversations about intersectionality and climate and bringing them together and have more activism on campus. Yeah. And thank you. And also I'd just like to make a point, like if anyone has any questions or any concerns or ideas they want to share with me, they don't have to wait until next year. They can start talking to me, as well as Essia and Kimia, who are the current Environment and Ethics Officers. Like, yeah, everything. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you ever so much, Hannah, for taking the time to come and talk to us this evening. Best of luck with starting the new role.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I didn't mean to cut her off there. My apologies.
The world of live streaming.
I'm not that mean. So, yes, we are really getting through our part-time officers now, and we are obviously now moving on to our penultimate part PTO this year, and this is the Ethnic Minorities Officer. So they represent all self-defining ethnic minority students and are responsible for raising awareness and addressing issues faced by ethnic minority students here at the university and within Warwick SU. They also lobby for change to that effect. They're also at the forefront of the SU's anti-racism campaigning and in all forms, and are responsible for organising this and other events and raising awareness of all the SU's anti-racist campaigning efforts. So Cam, would you like to do the honours of revealing the new Ethnic Minorities Officer for this year, please?
No, I absolutely would indeed. So your new Ethnic Minorities Officers for the next academic year are Maglesha Mahesrawan and Fatima Sumro. Congratulations to the both of you. Thank you very much for joining the stream tonight. Again, as we've had for every other candidate, please, if you have any words to say, any thanks to give, I'm going to give you guys the floor now.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who voted for us. Also, just want to clarify, my name is pronounced Maglesha Mahesrawan. Felt like that was important to address as Ethnic Minorities Officer, especially anyway. But yeah, no, we're very excited to get started, and I'll just hand over to Fatima.
Yeah, really excited. I'm excited for my second term as SU part-time officer. I think all the candidates were really strong this year, so we weren't quite sure where the results were going to go. But yeah, thank you to everybody who voted for us.
Lovely, thank you for taking the time to join us this evening. We wish you the best of luck, and do take care and enjoy the rest of your night.
No, thank you very much. My apologies as well, mispronouncing your name there.
Okay.
But congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks.
Lovely. So we again are coming to our final part-time officer role, and this is the role of Women's Officer this evening. So they're responsible for representing all self-defining female students here at Warwick SU and at the university, and are responsible for raising awareness and addressing issues faced by female students in the SU and the university. And they also lobby for change to that effect. They're also at the forefront of the SU's anti-sexism campaigning in all forms, and are responsible for obviously organising other events, raising awareness of the SU's anti-sexist campaigning efforts, most notably during International Women's Week. And hope that is coming up soon. And a bit of self-plugging, Raw are doing a Women's Week next week, so do keep an eye out on our socials for everything we have planned for that, as we have some exciting stuff on the horizon.
I'm loving just how shameless that was.
Yeah, sorry, no, I've got a job to do. But, I have to. But not to detract from the fabulous achievement this evening, we have two new women's officers. Cam, would you like to do the honours?
Yes. So the next women's officers of Warwick Students' Union are Eman Barreh and Naomi Carter. Congratulations to the both of you. They'll be joining the stream very shortly. A very good evening.
Hi, thanks so much.
Congratulations on your victory tonight. Again, as we have for every other candidate tonight, if you have any thanks, if you have anyone you'd like to thank, anything you'd like to say, we give you guys the floor now.
Oh my God, I mean, like literally everyone who's helped us. I mean, we were running as part of the education not exploitation slate, and everyone on that has just been incredible. Like their support is like everything to us. Yeah, like 100% couldn't have done it without them, and without the amazing Asma and Jessica, our little campaign team.
Yeah, big shout out to the education not exploitation state. Like we wouldn't have won if it wasn't for their support and like their help. So yeah.
Well, thank you guys for taking the time to join us this evening. Best of luck with the oncoming year. Do take care and keep in touch.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that was all of the part-time officers. We have got through all of them now. So we'll be moving on very shortly to announce the full-time officers this year. But of course, it has been a very, as we said earlier on in the show, it's been a very different year, I think, for many students this year. I mean, Lucy, how have you felt this year? Obviously, last year we'd be in the Dirty Duck right now. We've been enjoying Big Decision, maybe having a few pints here or there prepared for after we've done the show. But it does feel very different this year. But how have you certainly felt being as a student this year? How's it felt for you?
It's been an interesting one. It's been an interesting one. Having seen the elections, obviously in first year, you sort of get thrown into it. You're not sure what's going on, really. I was a deputy in the news department. I was just told, here's a Twitter account, go and tweet what's going on. And I did. And then little did I know, the following year, I'd be organising the stream and doing it in the duck. There's like nothing else. It's quite exciting. There is lots of alcohol consumed after, and I recommend, if you choose to do so, that you enjoy yourself this evening. So it's very different. I think campaigning online has proven challenging for quite a few people and quite a few candidates. And I have to say, doing everything online for us has proved quite challenging as well. Obviously, we've had to adapt. We've done all our hustings as live streams. We're doing this as a live stream, whereas normally we'd be perched on stage with a projector behind us in the middle of a very crowded pub. So it is quite different, but I have to say, still enjoyable. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. I mean, this is the first year I've done it with Raw, and I have absolutely loved doing the hustings and hosting Big Decision tonight. It has felt different. Like, obviously, last year, being able to go around campus and talk to people during election week and sort of really get the vibe. Like, that was, always something that I really enjoyed last year. And it has certainly felt very different this year. But I think we can certainly say that we have a new officer team ready for next year and that we can look up. I think that's the one thing that everyone's doing at the moment. We're looking ahead. And I think hopefully we can be optimistic that we can get back to normal within the next few months. And we can get back to enjoying university like we used to. I think that's very much hopefully what many students are going to be having very soon.
Oh, definitely. But I think you should get on with our next sports officer, Cam. I'm going to let you have the floor.
No, absolutely. So yes, as we said, we're now moving on to announcing the full-time officer roles. So in terms of the full-time officer roles, as we said earlier, there are 7 that we will be announcing tonight. So what exactly does a full-time officer do? The full-time officers, they're responsible for working on your behalf to represent you throughout the next academic year. They'll be lobbying and campaigning to the university and also more widely throughout the community to deliver you the best experience throughout the next year. So, as Lucy said, let's start off with the sports officer. Now, the sports officer is the public face of sport here on campus. They'll be working with sports clubs and their members to encourage students to take up sport and help them during professional competitions. They also promote physical and mental well-being and lobby the university to make sport more inclusive and accessible to all. And so tonight, to announce her successor to this position, I'd like to welcome the current sports officer, Charlotte Lloyd.
Hi,
Good evening,
everyone.
Charlotte.
Hey,
It's fantastic to have you on the stream tonight. Before you announce the result, just very quickly, how have you found being sports officer this year compared to your first year in the role?
Well, it's been really, really different, obviously, but I've really enjoyed it. It's great to get to do something you love every single day, and it's been a great experience, like as my first job. So yeah.
No, absolutely, and a big thank you for serving us as sports officer over the last couple of years. But it's time for you to now announce your successor. So, Charlotte, over to you.
Yeah, so it's been an honour to be Warwick Sports Officer for the past 2 years, but I think we're all ready for somebody new to come in and to make sport more accessible, more inclusive, and hopefully get to organise the fun events, because it's looking like we might actually get a normal year next year, which means the return of Sports Day, varsity, national competitions, of course, pop, which I know everyone has missed out on this year. So I'm absolutely thrilled to announce that the person who's going to be guiding you through all of that will be Braedie Bhatia.
I think we've had a mix-up in results there.
Oh.
No, you've been given the wrong result, my love. You've been forwarded the wrong information. You know what? We do love communication within Warwick SU, don't we, folks? We like to add a bit of excitement. But with that note, I'd like to welcome Will Brewer. Will, you are the new sports officer. I would like to confirm that. I was in the call when you were told you were the new sports officer. Charlotte's been given the wrong information. It's all fine. We carry on.
Blame Luke Metham for that one.
Luke will be joining us later in the evening, so we'll let him explain that one. But thank you very much. Will, obviously, you are the new sports officer now. Firstly, if there's any words that you would like to say.
Well, I mean, firstly, I'm going to say, Charlotte, you made my heart jump there. I thought that I was wrong. But yeah, no, I've got to give a massive thank you to my campaign team. I had a really great group of people behind me. My campaign manager, Jamie Armstrong, has put in a ridiculous amount of hours on my campaign and has lost a lot of sleep over it. As well, one of my best mates, Alex, he has spent many of his nights screaming at Photoshop not working. So those two people have done a great work, and the rest of my campaign team really did absolutely pull it out of the bag, messaging everyone, being online, everything was quite tough, and they did a great job. So big thank you to them, and hopefully I will do a lot of them proud, since they're not going to be here to see me do any of my work next year.
No, absolutely. Congratulations on your victory. If I just can ask you a couple of questions quickly. Why did you decide to run for sports officer?
So I actually sort of didn't have this plan. I was actually only meant to be at the uni for 3 years. And in my second year, I ran to be social sec in my final year of tennis. And I was very good friends with the president in that year. And I kind of decided to do 4 years, partially obviously for the academic reasons, but mostly to run for president of tennis, because I thought that I could do some good there. And then when I was president of tennis, I was like, oh, you know what? I was like, I can do a bit more change if I'm sports officer. So I thought that I'd give it a go.
Just one last question before we let you go tonight. Day one, you're in the SU, you're the new sports officer. What's the first thing you're going to do?
I think the first thing that everyone wants me to do is to finally get a conversation with the uni about money, a conversation that will actually go somewhere. And I think that's setting that up and actually getting the lines of communication open so that we can really try and lobby them to actually get some cheaper sport, I think is the main priority.
Warwick University, your new sports officer, Will Brewer. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I will be now departing the stream for a bit. Lucy, it's all yours.
Thank you for that, Cam. So yes, obviously you've just heard who your new sports officer is going to be for the forthcoming year. Do love when information is passed around correctly. But we are now moving on to our next full-time officer role for the forthcoming year, and this is for the role of societies officer. So they are responsible for supporting and guiding hundreds of societies here at Warwick, included us here at Raw. I have to say I'm very looking forward to this person taking the role. They are helping society execs with decision making, budgets and training, and helping develop and promote their events. So they'll be very active this year. They will also be responsible for the running of Societies Fair and helping to ensure societies remain a focal point of the student experience. As I'm sure a lot of us can say at Warwick, we have been heavily involved in societies in some way, shape or form. So to announce his successor to the role of Societies Officer, I have the pleasure of welcoming to the stream this evening the lovely Ollie Barreh. Good evening, Ollie.
Hi, Lucy. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you for coming on. It's nice to see you again. So would you like to have you say a bit about the role? Obviously, I've explained what it does, what it's meant to you this year for me.
So societies, the real kind of, I guess, meaning behind the role, it's a lot more than just, you know, looking after the societies. It's really kind of trying to preempt the problems and trying to get in front of the problems before they happen, and to really like make the experience of so many students a lot better. And I think the next societies officer is really going to do that, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how that kind of unfurls. So I'd like to announce that Chi-Hsiang is the new societies officer.
Thank you, Ollie. Welcome, Chi-Hsiang, to the stream this evening. Congratulations on your win. Look, please, this is good to see.
Yeah, you spelled my name wrong. There's a H after the first I. Yeah, nearly there. Nearly there.
Well, you know what? I'm not taking responsibility of that. That is our little man, Enoch, working in the background. Your name, so I cannot take responsibility for that there. I should know, as I did go to school with you. So, you know, I do know. I'm not taking responsibility for that. It's a pleasure to have you with me this evening. Yeah. How are you feeling? How have you found campaigning this week?
I found campaigning incredibly stressful. In fact, at times, incredibly soul crushing as an experience. And at times, I just really, I don't know, I found it quite tough, honestly. But at times, I thought it was quite enjoyable. But yeah, most of the times, I thought it was very tough. And I think many people I spoke to really know this. So, yeah.
It hasn't been a normal year, certainly. So then, let's actually get down to business. What's the first thing you're going to do? Day one, you get in your office, you sit down, you're at the desk. What is the first thing you're going to do for societies here at Warwick? And yes, I'm obviously asking for Raw.
Yeah, I will definitely start off with looking at Freshers Fair and seeing what are the possible, how that will pan out and how that will be implemented. We have to look at the different solutions in different ways, at different eventualities which might come about, and I need to make sure I need to prepare for all eventualities and make sure it is a success and make sure societies really get the most out of the Societies Fair. I also want to start tackling mental health and start opening up that dialogue as well at the university.
Lovely. And what do you think is the most important things that matters to societies at the minute? Would you say, how are you going to encourage society involvement, for example, this year, especially in the wake of the pandemic?
So yeah, I think the main issue has been a lack of promotion, lack of advertising, and lack of opportunities for society sort of be themselves. Because obviously they've all been sort of secluded onto this sort of online platform, which has been very difficult to transpose onto. And of course, the situation is always changing. We don't know what's going to be really happening at September or October time. But from the looks of it, it looks like it's all going to be in person, hopefully. Hopefully. So in order to sort of hit the ground running, of course, the Freshers Fair has to be really important, has to be really well done, and make sure that all societies are well presented there, and make sure we need to sort of start implementing different sort of ways that societies can sort of promote themselves and promote themselves. For example, I want to implement a society showcase throughout the next year. So it'll be a week perhaps, or a day, something like that, where societies sort of show what they've done throughout the year. And also look out for different ways for societies to promote their activities, like integrating a society notifications thing on the My Work app, or make a new app so people can be notified of events. So visibility of societies, I think, is very key.
Lovely. So obviously, again, you talk about visibility being key. How are you going to make yourself visible and accessible to societies at the university? Obviously, you've got a very nice Swish office with a nice desk and a nice chair, but how are you going to make you accessible? What can you say to those those at the University of Warwick? How are you going to make sure they know to come to you?
I am going to be sharing all of my social media. I use a range of social media. For example, I use Facebook, I use Discord, which I know is underused by the SU. I know people in this chat would really use Discord. I think Discord is a very cool tool. And that will really, and there's a lot of people in certain degrees and certain aspects of the university which really sort of use that. I also have other social media as well. I also want to make sure that the, there's like a message to an exec button on the SU website. I want to make sure that's more visible. Oh, thanks for correcting my name. I just noticed. I want to make that button more visible so that people have really quick access to execs. And I know I will always be on. I'm always going to be online regardless because I have no life. No, I'm joking. But like, I will always be online. And honestly, anyone can message me at any time. I'll be as open, as promotional as possible. And also, I will also at times hopefully try and engage with lots of society execs as well throughout the year. It's something I really want to look forward to. I really want to do.
Lovely. Thank you for taking the time to come and speak to us this evening. We're very looking forward to seeing what you do over the next year. And, you know, you better keep yourself in with Raw. You know, you'll probably be on a few times. You know, I'm sorry.
I'll try.
I am calling back. I am calling in favours where I can. So thank you for taking the time to join us this evening, Chi-Hsiang, and congratulations again.
Cheers. Thank you very much, Lise.
I feel like I cut him off. You know what? I'm getting very happy with the clicking here. Very, very happy.
These live streams give us so much power. That's the problem. But actually,
yeah, they do.
Whilst we're here, actually, societies, sports, obviously, we just announced those two big parts of our student life here at Warwick. Just one thing quickly, Lucy. Is there any one memory you've had with a sport or a society that's really stuck out to you?
There are many moments that have stuck out to me over being part of a society, Cam. I think the best thing about being part of the society, I think for me, has been, I think it has to be being station manager at Raw. That has been something that I was incredibly lucky to be elected to, and I was very lucky to be elected. I'm very excited about being elected, and I think that it's something that everyone should enjoy. They should take the opportunity to go and get involved in a society here at Warwick, whether it be a small role, whether it be in roles, just come and do a show, or turn up to a social, turn up to a talk or something, or even running for exec. There are so many opportunities to gain from it, and it is certainly a wonderful thing to do. But obviously, another important thing about university life is our own student welfare, and that plays a big part in societies as well, doesn't it, Cam?
No, absolutely. And of course, student welfare this year in particular, I know with many students have been obviously with the impacts of coronavirus and lockdowns, it's been a more important issue than ever before. So let's move on now to announce your next full-time officer who will be in charge of student welfare next year. It is the result of the Welfare and Campaigns Officer. So what do they do? So the Welfare and Campaigns Officer will be leading on policies and campaigns to improve student welfare here at Warwick, covering issues including mental health, sexual health and accommodation. They'll work with the SU and the university's welfare services as well to ensure equal opportunities for all students and run and assist student campaigns. Now, to announce this result, I'm pleased to say we are joined by our current Welfare and Campaigns Officer, Izzy Bourne.
Hi.
Very good to have you this evening. Can I just ask, what's it been like for you in the last year?
Guys, it's been such an honour to be the welfare officer for the past 7 months. And I'd just like to say a big well done to all the candidates, you know, especially the unsuccessful ones, you know, just for how much hard work everyone's put in campaigning and running their campaigns during this like really difficult election.
No, absolutely. I was going to say absolutely for a second. We do need to ask you now, who is the next Welfare and Campaigns Officer of Warwick Students' Union?
So the next Welfare and Campaigns Officer for Warwick Students' Union next year is Charlton Sawyer.
Congratulations to Charlton. Charlton joins us on the stream now. A very good evening to you, Charlton. Before I ask you a few more questions. Just start off by saying how you're feeling right now, and if you've got anyone you'd like to thank.
Well, where to begin? I'm absolutely elated. I'm quite surprised by the results. I think a lot of people are. And yeah, what can I say? I'd like to thank my friends, my supporters, my voters. I'd like to thank everyone. I'd like to thank Warwick students because they've clearly made the right decision.
Just a couple of quick questions now, Charlton. Firstly, why did you make the decision to run for welfare officer?
Well, basically, for too long, our students' union has been dominated by ideologues who cared for nothing but advancing their own agenda. And I stood because I wanted to change this. I wanted our students' union to have something rare, which is representatives that actually represent the students that have elected them. And so tonight I'm proud to count myself among them. And so yeah, I want to represent students to the best of their ability and actually provide real representation, not just ideological nonsense.
Can I ask you, day one in the Students' Union, when you get into SUHQ, what's the first thing that you're going to want to be doing?
Well, it's hard to pick really. There's so much that really needs fixing. The biggest issue of my campaign and the biggest issue that Warwick faces now is its mental health crisis. And after a year, when I take office, I don't think this will change at all. I think it'll be a massive problem, possibly the biggest problem that we'll face. So from day one, I'll be working on an action plan to tackle this. And actually, I'm really looking forward to working with Izzy as well, who hopefully will help me draft this.
Charlton, congratulations on your victory tonight. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So we have now announced 3 of our sabbatical officers this evening. Lucy, over to you with the 4th.
Thank you, Cam. So next we are going to be going on to the next postgraduate officer of Warwick Students' Union. So this officer is not like any of the other officers here on the top 7 team, as they, obviously the top 7 try and encompass all aspects of Warwick life, but the postgraduate officer is predominantly and only for postgraduates to ensure that they have fair representation within Warwick Students' Union. So because obviously the postgrad community makes up 40% of all students here at the University of Warwick, and to help them make the most of their student experience. Now, they will work very closely with the education officer to ensure that postgrads are equally represented within the community and work with the SU to ensure that it delivers its goals and pledges for postgraduates. So to announce the result, I would like to welcome to the stream the current postgraduate officer, Shingai. Good evening, my love. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us again this evening, Shingai. Are you with us? You are fabulous. Good evening. It's nice to see you. Hello. So not long
it's wonderful to see you, Lisa.
And you. So not long ago we were having a presidential interview, but you're here for a far more important reason. Obviously, it is the postgraduate officer. Would you like to say a bit about what the role's meant to you, and then announce your successor for me, please, this evening?
Thank you so much. So being a postgraduate officer means basically you get to represent all kinds of postgraduates in every aspect of their lives. That's social, well-being issues, education issues. And so it's been such a great honor to be able to represent them in that regard. So you find that unlike every other officer who has a specific remit to an area, I kind of do it for every aspect of a postgraduate life, and that's our role. That's what we do. And so taking over in doing this amazing job is the wonderful Nathan Parsons.
Hi. I can see you talking, but I can't hear you.
You know what? It does help if you unmute your microphone, but you know, this is the joy of technology, isn't it? So Nathan, would you like to say a few words about your election, please?
Thank you for everyone who voted, and thanks for Chant for running also a good campaign. I was mixed part good and bad seeing a good manifesto from someone else. I'm looking forward to representing postgrads.
Lovely, thank you, Nathan. What's your top priority on day one?
Probably starting campaigns, like starting all the campaigns that I promised. Really like getting to know what postgrads want from the SU and trying to shape the SU to be what postgrads want and need, and really pushing the SU to actually speak out on postgrad issues, which it hasn't really done for a while.
What would you say is the number one issue facing postgrads at the moment?
I think postgrads are a broad community. There's top postgrads and research postgrads, and we all have quite different experiences. One of the key things is the cuts to the STP. So the sessional teaching payroll got cut, and that meant that a lot of postgrads who were working now don't have that work, and that's actually quite a bad thing for a lot of PhD students.
Lovely. Thank you for taking the time to join us this evening, Nathan. Congratulations. Sadly, we are having to move along, but thank you again. Next, you've got to join me again. We are going to be doing the DDO, aren't we? Over to you.
Yes, we are. The next position is the Democracy and Development Officer, and they are, well, names on the tin. They're responsible for the Student Union democracy, helping to initiate and ensure compliance with the SU's democratic processes and policies, and also many of its development aspects as well. So overseeing the running of the SU's commercial operations, development issues including housing, transport, and also work on many of the SU's sustainability projects. And so now I'd like to welcome the current Democracy and Development Officer, Akuswa Sefa. A very good evening to you. How have you found being DDO this year?
It's definitely been a huge challenge, especially with the pandemic. Yeah, that's what I would say. I'm relieved that the elections are over. Yeah.
Of course, you have the name of your successor. Who is going to be the next DDO of Warwick Students' Union?
The next DDO is going to be Jacob Jefferson.
So congratulations to Jacob. Thank you for joining us on the stream.
Hello.
Well done. Firstly, are there any words of thanks you'd like to say?
Yeah, I've got a few words I want to say. Hopefully it won't take too long. I'm obviously delighted to have won. I'll start by thanking my opponent, Stephen, who had a really great campaign. It's a really special night for me. I've been at Warwick for 3 years, and I'm really delighted to be there another one. And also like to congratulate all other officers elected. Further thanks must go to my campaign advisor, Andrew Thompson, as well as the amazing advice I received from James Butler and Conrad Lewandowski through the last week and a half. I'd also like to give a shout out to everyone at Warwick Tories and Warwick Jewish Society, as well as my boyfriend Tom, who is my rock. Looking across the board at this election, there's been a clear rejection of some of the policies put forward by the current SU. We need to ensure that as soon as it is safe, that campus can reopen, both in relation to in-person teaching, as well as opening all the SU's commercial outlets as soon as it's legally safe and possible. People come to Warwick for the full campus university experience, and we need to give it to them. A final point, it's also great to see the rejection of the far left in this election, who've taken their positions in the SU for granted. And I hope we can move away from the SU being a place for divisive politics irrelevant to Warwick and actually work for the needs of the everyday Warwick student. Thank you.
Jacob, I believe we have to move on now. We've really pushed for time.
That's all I needed to say, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Cal.
So we are getting closer and closer to the 10 o'clock mark, and we still have one position to go. It's getting very busy. We're getting through our sabbatical team quite quickly, and the team is really taking shape. So we've had welfare and campaigns, we've had DDO, we've had sports, we've had societies, we've had postgrad, but now we are going on to education officer, aren't we, Cam?
Yes, we are. The education officer, of course, not just education officer, but also the deputy president as well of the Students' Union. Lucy, I think I'm going to leave this one to you.
Thank you very much. So, as Cam has said, the education officer is the deputy president of Warwick SU, and they work to ensure every student's academic experience is as good as it possibly can be. So this is including that all marginalised and also mature students receive equal academic opportunities. They will work through the academic representation system to achieve positive changes to students' learning experience, and will raise academic issues at the highest levels within the university and within the SU. So this evening I have the honour of welcoming the current education officer to the stream, the lovely Megan Clark. Good evening, Megan. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Hi, thank you.
Would you like to say a few words about what the role's been to you, as well as announce the new education officer for the forthcoming year for me, please?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, the role's been very different than what we expected when we ran in last year's spring elections. As you said, the education officer sits at the top of the academic rep system, representing students on university committees relating to their academic experience. I'm proud that I've stood up for what I believe in this year and fought institutional racism in the SU, and I hope that the next education officer will do the same. So it's my duty to announce that the next education officer is Isabelle Atkins.
Hi. Good evening, Isabelle. Thank you. Thank you, Megan, for that. Take care this evening. Isabelle, good evening. Thank you for taking the time to join us. Congratulations on your election. So would you like to say a few words and a few thanks, first of all, before I start quizzing you?
Yes, so a huge thank you to everyone that voted for me first and foremost. Thank you so much to Joe and Agatha. You ran fantastic campaigns, and it was an absolute honour to run against you. It's been a very hectic week. I think most any candidate will agree with me on that front, but it's been very rewarding as well, and everyone ran a fantastic race. Thank you to everyone on my campaign team for all the moral support through the breakdowns and the stress, and yeah, just really looking forward to the next year.
Lovely, thank you. You know, I think every candidate can sympathise with the word breakdown in the past 10 days in some way, shape or form. It has been quite a common occurrence, and trust me, it's happened behind the scenes as well on many occasions, so far too often it probably should have done. So first of all, as education officer, I have to ask, day one, you get in the office, you're behind the desk, what are you going to do?
We are going to be sorting out online teaching and getting that back in person. I'm hoping going forward we'll be able to instate some of the policies that come up this year. So making sure lecture capture gets permanently instated, and making sure that students that can't return to campus are mitigated for and accounted for and feel represented at uni.
Lovely, that's very nice to hear. And what do you think, what are you going to do in regards, you talk about mitigation in that way, but what about mitigation policies themselves, extensions, for example? What are your plans there?
So I'm hoping to keep the self-certification. I think that's been a really positive change this year. I want to make mitigating circumstances much clearer, release objective criteria in advance, let students know the breakdown of their reports when they are being made, and make sure there are more opportunities to submit mitigating circumstances and for mitigating circumstances committees to meet throughout the year.
Lovely, thank you. And is there been sort of a moment this week? How have you felt this week? Has there been ups? Has there been downs? Has there been an absolute crisis? You know,
there have been many downs. It's been a stressful week, and it's not something I would seek to repeat anytime soon. But it's been, I think now it's over. It's been really rewarding, and you know, I'm proud of myself for running the campaign I did and sticking to my genuine beliefs. And going forward this year, I'll promise to commit to working with all marginalised groups and students on all liberation groups on campus, to make sure everyone's heard and make sure the SU represents all students on campus.
Lovely, thank you. And I have to ask, is there something in particular you are looking forward to over the next year?
Can I say pop? Is that allowed?
You are. You know what? I think anything goes at the minute. I think people are just angry for some form of freedom. But would you say is that your number one looking forward to thing, sort of post-COVID?
Yes, or a good drinking tea bar. That's what we're aiming for.
I think everyone can sort of sympathise there, but no, I would like to again offer our sincere congratulations at your election. We're looking forward. I'm sure us at Royal will be knocking on your door and trying to talk to you soon. The question is the door always open?
Always. For anyone, any student, drop me an email, come see me. I'm always around.
Excellent. Thank you, Isabelle, for taking the time this evening, and congratulations again.
Bye.
Bye. So, we're nearly there.
We're at the climax of the evening now. We've gone through the faculty reps, we've gone through the part-time officers, we've gone through the sports officer, societies officer, welfare and campaigns, postgraduate, democracy and development, education. I felt I've just relived the entirety of the last hour, but we're building now up to this one moment. It is the announcement of Warwick Students' Union's next president. So, Lucy, what exactly does the president do?
That is a very good question. They're essentially the boss. They have the final say, so I'm sure the current president, you know, might question what I'm currently saying at this moment in time. So obviously, after 9 days of very intense campaigning, we are announcing the next president. So the president is responsible for promoting your interests with external bodies outside of the SU, acting as your main representative to Warwick University and sitting on the top university bodies to deliver the best experience possible for students all across the university. So, you know, there isn't anyone we could really welcome at this moment in time, apart from our current president, Luke Mepham, who I've seen might have a glass of something in his hand as he is talking to us right now.
Ooh, sneaky. Yeah, I thought I was going to get caught in the act taking a sip. Just bring me in at any second, but got away with it until you said that, Lucy. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I've got to point out that you're far too comfortable with that glass in your hand.
It's cozy, yeah. I mean, wasn't really the results night we expected a year ago, I suppose, was it? I didn't think we'd be sitting here at home doing it, but no, lovely to be here.
No, it's great to have. Yeah, it's great to have you on. I was going to say, obviously, a year ago we'd all be in the dirty duck right now. You would have obviously found out you were the next SU president. This year, as you said, we're at home right now. It's obviously been the pandemic. There's so much that's happened in the last year. Of course, you have been SU president right at the front of that. Just what has it been like being SU president during a global pandemic?
It's been interesting. I think it is probably the word that I would use. It's as I say, really not what we expected, really not what I expected. It's been a great experience though, like getting to work with so many kind of great students. And I think the amount of change that we've been able to make this year, even when maybe students don't kind of see it, because it's a lot of small amount of lobbying on kind of like making very small changes and stuff in university committees sometimes that actually have like massive ramifications and stuff that we're perhaps not shouting about. So I think because of the pandemic, stuff's been moving so quickly and there's been so much scope for change. So it has been very, very exciting in that way. But I'm a bit gutted that we haven't been able to go to all kind of like the nice lunches and stuff that the university put on at their meetings. That's been terrible. But yeah, it's been interesting. It's been good.
Lovely, thank you, Luke. So, you know, it is 10 p.m. I have to leave you with the honour. Would you like to announce the new president of Warwick SU, please, this evening?
Absolutely. So it is my honour and pleasure to announce that the next president of Warwick Students' Union is Shingai Dzumbira.
Hello again, Shingai. Thank you. Thank you for coming back. You twice in one evening. We are honoured. Congratulations again on your election.
Thank you so much, Lucy. I'm so grateful.
Would you like to say a few words? Because obviously we're going to get rid of the current president, as obviously he's old news now. Bye, Luke. Thank you very much. Thank you. Shingai, over to you if you'd like to say a few words.
Well, I'm going to start off by saying I'm really grateful. I'm grateful to everyone who voted. Your vote of confidence in me means so much. I'm grateful to my family and friends for everything that they did for me. And I'm grateful to the most amazing campaign team ever. They did so much this week, absolutely so much. And I'm grateful for everything that they did. And most importantly, can't, not say this. I'm really grateful to God for his grace and for his love, because I'm in awe of him, because this week was interesting and he was everything to me during this period. So I am filled with absolute gratitude and joy for the days ahead. And yeah, that's me. That's me.
Shingai.
I'm not mute. Help. Mute is the bane of my existence. Carry on, Cam.
We've been doing these live streams for a year now, and we still haven't worked out how to mute and unmute ourselves. This is raw at its finest. But Shingai, I've got to ask you, obviously, what made you decide to run for president in the first place?
That's a good question. That is a very good question, But to be honest, I probably put in my nomination at I think 10 a.m. on the last day nominations were open. But the reason was I really had a passion for changing certain things in the Students' Union. I'd worked there for a while as postgraduate officer, and I genuinely care about students. And there were so many times I'd be meetings like, I want to have access to this aspect of the university because I want to do this. I want to have access to this aspect of the university. Sometimes I had to get Luke to do a lot of the things that I wanted done, that I felt needed to be done. So at the end, what do you have? run for presidency if that's what gives me the access that I wanted. And really, it was just believing in myself, because I think a lot of people are like, it's daunting. Coming into the SU altogether was daunting the first time, because I'd never been in this space at all. I'd never been engaged within the SU. So this was a different experience altogether. But after 1 year as postgraduate officer, I just knew that there were changes that needed to be made. And I genuinely believed that I was the person to do it. So that's why I ran, in a nutshell.
Lovely. It's really nice to hear the passion for which you talk about this. What is the first thing, you know, I've asked this of most of the interviewees this evening, you know, again, day one, behind the desk, in the chair. What is your first priority as the new president of Warwick Students' Union?
So we'll be looking at, probably it will be summer 2021. So we're looking at, you know, the return to campus and making sure students are eased back well. I think it's important to note that a lot of students, especially first years, who will be second years, haven't had a normal year. And so ensuring that they have the relevant and adequate support that they require for that transition, making sure facilities are open and ready. And then also that now, knowing the things that could happen, we set in place, I guess, fail-safes, in you know, emergency options for students, emergency support for students in the event that things happen in the next year, and they're well supported. So those are things that I want to look at. The transition back to campus, making sure I work well with the societies and sports officers, and also welfare officer on ensuring that the transition back and welcoming new students on campus goes well, pretty well and smoothly, and we help students just get accustomed and reacclimatized to going to lectures, reacclimatized to everything that uni life brings. I can't wait to be back at Curiosity. I love Curiosity. That's just like my thing. So yeah.
No, Curiosity, I must say, is a favorite of mine as well. Of course, being SU president, you have the ability now to do a lot with your position. So is there a sort of overall vision you have for the student community within Warwick and more widely as well, perhaps across the country?
Definitely. I think the core thing that I want to do is ensure that our students' union is student focused. I want to ensure that we ensure that every voice that has been ignored or marginalized within our students' union is recognized, and that will include ensuring that we start engaging students who've been disengaged. And I was one of those students. I didn't know that the SU was more than, you know, Curiosity and the Dirty Duck and all those things. I didn't know, and I didn't know the power the SU had, and also that meant I didn't know what they could do for me. And I want that narrative to change, because I want students like me, students who are focused on the academics, or maybe their society is really what they want to be enjoying, to have a voice and a place within the students' union, for them to see it clearly and to engage. So I want to ensure that we have a student-focused SU. I think a lot happens within a silo, an echo chamber per se in the students' union, and that just won't work when we have over 28,000 people on campus. So just widening our reach and making sure every voice counts, and amplifying those voices within the SU itself, and then also outside of the SU, and engaging the university.
Lovely, thank you, Shingai. One thing, again, I have asked several other candidates is, how are you going to make yourself accessible to students? Because obviously the president is someone you see at the top of the tree, but not necessarily the first person you go to talk to. So how are you going to make yourself available to Warwick students and available to contact, available to ask questions, and also to be arguably held accountable as well?
Well, I'm hoping Warwick XU marketing department is not watching this, because, you know, I'm going to have to learn a lot of things. And I think working closely with marketing, because there are things that we can do to ensure that the visibility of our students' officers. So that's something that I'm going to be looking into, having an actual plan and strategy for publicity, for communications, for officers. I think sometimes that's something we're left in the deep with. And like for someone like me who doesn't know how to use TikTok, doesn't really like, all I do is Instagram, and before that was Facebook, and someone told me that Facebook is not in right now, and I was like, oh, okay. So I think that's going to be important, that guidance, and that will ensure that we are more visible, more accessible to students, and working through departments as well. I truly believe in using departments to get ourselves out there. So those are my plans.
Oh, no, this is very exciting to hear. Can we offer our congratulations again? We are looking forward to seeing you more of this year, over the next year. And I'm sure we'll be knocking on your door a few times as well. We are only upstairs in the SU, so I can guarantee you'll have a few knocks on the door of the forthcoming year if you fancy coming and having a chat to us again.
I look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Take care and congratulations, Shingai.
Thank you.
So that was Shingai Dzumbira, the new president of Warwick Students' Union. And that is it for the spring elections. That is it all for another year. Ready to do it all again next year. But of course, in that time, we wish your new student officer team the best of luck in representing you over the next year.
Yes, we do. Obviously, you've been watching us tonight. Thank you for taking the time to come and watch. And even with the technical hiccups we've managed along the way, you know, what can you do with a live stream in the era of COVID? Thank you for taking the time to watch. It means the world to us here at Raw. We do keep an eye on our socials on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We are on probably other stuff as well. I don't understand social media, but you know, we're there. Come and talk to us we will be contacting the outgoing and coming in sabbatical team over the next coming months. So do keep an eye out for the interviews and talks we have going on there, as I'm sure you will all have more opportunity to ask further questions. But I've been Verity Stocks this evening.
And I have been Cam Hall.
Thank you for taking the time to join us. Good night, take care, stay safe, and I'm sure we'll see you soon.
Have a great evening.